So for the people who don't know you, who are you and how long have you been inside the premium?
Yes, sir. So I go by RoRo. I've been with James for approximately about 2 years, probably going on to three now. I've been with him for a long, long time. But yeah,
Pretty crazy.
yes, sir.
Damn, that's crazy. How much did you start with whenever you joined the premium?
So I'm not gonna lie, bro. As soon as I started, I instantly started with thousands, bro. Like I was not wasting time because I was trying to make profits and everything like that. But yeah,
What was your experience in sports betting before joining?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm horrible, bro. It was horrible because I was tailing a lot of cappers. One day I would win, one day I would lose. It was on and off. The profits I would make, I would just lose it instantly the next day.
Yeah.
And I wasn't smart with my money at all. Like I would want to make more and more and more. It got to the point where I was getting greedy and I was just losing and losing and losing.
Yeah. Seems to be the case with a lot of people.
Oh yeah, of course.
So when did you really take that first step into, starting to take sports betting seriously?
So 2022, I started betting because that's as soon as I turned 18 and like Price Picks was really big at that time. I started with Price Picks. I'm assuming a lot of people did. As soon as they turn 18, they want to do that. And I was telling a lot of people searching up on TikTok best place for like Price Picks and all that. Didn't really see no results with it until 2023, bro. That's when I found you and I kind of like sticked with you for a minute, bro. I never chased no cappers. Even when on our days we were losing and stuff like that, like never changed no habits because I really seen like big, big potential. So I just sticked with it.
Yeah. I remember whenever you first joined and you would really think that like sports betting was like guaranteed or like that
Right.
there were like locks were a thing. So yeah, like what were some of the things that you were struggling with before?
Definitely discipline, bro. And I feel like when it comes to gambling, I feel like a lot of people still to this day struggle with it, whether you're up in profit, whether you're not, whether you're steady. It gets to the point where like you get greedy, you win a little bit of thousand, like, all right, let me see if I could do that again. But you don't tell your own, handicap or you start doing it on your own, and that's when you tend to lose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. Again, bro, it's an issue with a lot of people.
Oh, of course.
Everyone goes like that.
Right.
Whenever you have the discipline is whenever you actually start making consistent profits.
Most definitely, and
And for
that's
the
why I
people who
invested
don't
with
know,
you.
how much did you make in March from your FanDuel and your BetUS account?
Oh man, so I made on BetUS 37 approximately, and on FanDuel was 17,000. So probably roughly around 50 around there, if I'm
That
not
shit's
mistaken.
crazy, bro. From sports betting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was an amazing month, believe it or not. And most of the times March is not like a good month for us, but this month was not so bad whatsoever. I came out with profits and it was surprising.
That's crazy. Yeah. Again, for the last 2 years before 2025, so 2023 and 2024 were both losing months for March. So we definitely didn't go into March with high expectations, but you walked out with 50K on top. So that's
Oh
huge.
yeah, it was amazing, bro. And I hope we keep doing that. We stay disciplined, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna come out with a lot of profits.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How was the first month whenever you really, like saw consistent profits inside sports betting?
So the month where I really, really seen some consistency was in August. Like I really had the best month in August of 2024. And at that time, that's when I really made my first big money. And it was 11,000 a month. And I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? So, and then at that point, I was like, wow, I can't wait till I see what the next upcoming months bring us.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people think that you can jump in and instantly hit those months. You were working with me for at least almost like 6 months before you hit your first, eleven
Big
thousand dollar
month.
month.
Correct.
So yeah, that's huge though.
Oh yeah, oh
That's
yeah.
big.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you started making consistent money like that, or having insane months like that, what kind of like financial success, like in terms of your day to day life, like were you working a job or stuff like that?
So believe it or not, right? I'm gonna tell you this. So I used to work at Panda Express for 2 years, from like 2022 all the way until 2024. I officially quit. So now I don't have to work a job ever again. Believe it or not, bro. That's how consistent I got with sports betting, bro. To the point like I was seeing crazy profits. Even when I was working at Panda Express, I was making crazy profits. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay on the job for a little bit, be on the safe side. Then once I see the right terms up there, yeah, I'll just quit my job and then just stick to what I'm good at.
That's huge. Yeah, the other day I had a client come to me saying that like, he wanted to quit his job and do it full time, but
Right.
that's what I was the main point that I was getting to is you should see like consistent success with it before you go and quit your job. Like you already have the discipline, you already have the stuff down. A lot of people who jump straight into sports betting don't have that discipline down. So it
Right.
doesn't make sense for someone brand new to it to quit their job and,
And
go
take it
full in
full
on
time.
sports betting. You
Exactly.
gotta have that discipline. And then once you have the discipline, then you can turn it into a real income.
Exactly. And look, bro, I don't blame a lot of people. Discipline is a hard thing to, to get. It takes a while to get used to.
100%. Yeah.
But once you get used to it, oh yeah, you'll get the habit. And even to the point when you become profitable, to the point like even if I'm not like working a job anymore, even if I was to lose $1,000, I'm like, it's all right, bro. We still have enough bankroll to live off of, to pay rent, pay bills, all that, and keep going on with betting, you know.
Yeah. Whenever you were like, not profitable with sports betting, how did those losses like make you feel? Like did you think about quitting at some point or how was it?
Right, bro. So actually, I was at that time. That's when I was working as well, and it happened recently too. But I'm not too tripping on the recent ones. But back then, I was thinking, I'm like, man, I don't think gambling is for me. I think I have to get another job just to make my money that I lost back, bro. That's how bad it got.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking, I was looking up on YouTube and everything, how the best side hustles to make extra. It was crazy, bro. You know.
Yeah. And
But
now look
yeah,
at you, made 50,000 last month.
amazing, bro.
That's crazy.
Because of James, man, I'm telling you, it's James. Took the right picks, stick to the plan, be disciplined, got me up here.
No, I appreciate that. It
Of
definitely took
course.
a lot of time for 100%. Like, you've definitely asked me a lot of questions. Like with a lot of people or with a lot of other handicappers or whatever, whenever you sign up, you never like really talk with them one on one. Like I worked one on one with you. Like
Oh yeah, of
you,
course.
you have my phone number. Like I've taught you
Oh yeah,
hella shit
oh
about
yeah. We
sports
called
betting and how to.
previous times. We called many, many times.
Yeah,
Just like I
exactly.
felt like I was in VIP. I'm like, bro, I could call you whenever I want. You answer, you ask. And at one point, bro, when I like first started betting with you, I didn't know what a spread was. And if you would tell me, I would forget about it like a week for
Yep.
later. And
Yep.
like, man, and then you tell me again, so I got it full on in my head.
Yeah.
So you were very patient, bro. That's one thing I gotta appreciate about you and acknowledge that.
Of course. Of course. And again, now look at it. Turned out crazy.
It paid off, you know what I mean? It paid off. So that's one thing I'm grateful for.
For sure. What do you think the biggest factors to your success was?
So obviously, as we discussed before, number one is discipline, and number one is don't chase losses. And no, oh, sorry, number two, don't chase losses. Because for example, say we have a bad day where we don't win, which is casual, it's gonna happen, often or whatever. Don't go, making your own bet thinking you're gonna win, because at that point you're just chasing emotions. Thinking I'm like, oh, I think this one's gonna win, but you do it and then you lose, and now you're gonna be more upset that it lost. And I lost two bets, and at that point, guess who you're gonna be upset at? James, because he made you lose one bet, but then you made yourself lose two bets, and you're trying to blame him, and all
Yeah.
that. So those are two things that you really gotta focus on: is discipline and chasing emotions. You
Yeah, and
know.
and really, like, the chasing your losses really falls under discipline too. So once you master discipline, like, it's insanely easy to be profitable with sports betting. That's, like, the main thing that people have is the discipline. Once they have that down, they'll make money.
Right. And another thing is, I feel like when it comes to us doing games, you got to put your phone down, man. Them games is gonna get you stressed out. Don't
100%,
look at the
bro.
games and like, oh my God, I'm losing and all that. Just wait, third, fourth quarter, they'll catch up. You'll get up there. It happened to us plenty of times. We all got to witness it. But yeah,
100%, bro. So many people are I've said this probably in every single interview that I've done. So many people that are new to sports betting, they're so obsessed with how the scores are early in the game. A team
exactly,
can be down 20 points in the first quarter, but they can still win by 40 points the whole
exactly.
time. But people are,
College basketball, the prime example.
yeah, bro.
But oh yeah,
It's crazy the swings. Like teams can go on 20-0 runs, or they can go on runs where they don't score for 10 minutes.
right. Like Luke said, game is not over until it's over.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
So, how long were you like chasing your losses for? Because I remember it was like a decent amount of time. Uh, yeah, where you're chasing your losses. So, like, how long were you doing that on your own?
Yeah, so actually, right. So yeah, last year when we had like a bad month, I would say in March, that's at that time, that's when I lost a big amount. It was a huge chunk. It was $46,000 that I lost. And I was doing bets on my own, but it kept even going downhill and downhill, because I'm like, bro, I gotta come out with profit or I gotta get close to making my money back. But we knew that was not a great idea for me to try to keep going because obviously the more you chase it, the more it runs away from you. That
Yeah,
and that applies to everything in life. So I kept chasing it, kept losing more, and it wasn't horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But it took a few months, bro, and believe it or not, so from March to August, I ended up doubling my money back, you know? So I made it back like almost twice, you know? So I'm like, okay, I'm glad I waited and was patient and stopped doing all these foolish things, you know?
So,
But yeah.
like, throughout that time, throughout, like, March to August where you doubled, was there a time that really stood out to you, like, "This system actually works, like, following James actually works,
Right.
I just gotta stick with it." What was
Right.
there a
So with
point that
Whale, I've really seen that with Whale because I remember when I first joined Whale, you throw out the whole plan on how like the system works and everything like that. And I kept, I stuck with it, been patient, we had our ups and downs, but mainly it's been steady, bro. Like we've been seeing a lot of profits, you know. And
Yeah,
obviously Whale could with the Whale group chat could tell you the same thing, and I'm the prime example. I could tell you the same thing as well. I made a lot of profits from it.
yeah. How how good did it feel to, like, actually start making, crazy consistent profits from sports betting?
Man, I promise you, like, all right. So look, it's an off-topic thing, you know what I mean. So one thing about me, I be going to sleep very late, like, bro, it's me like 6, 7 in the morning. That's when I go to sleep. So I wake up all in the afternoon, bro. Once I start winning my bets, I start going to sleep early, so happy, not thinking about nothing, no, none of that, you know. So like, man, we won. I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings us, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's just been relaxed. You get calm. You feel like you calm, once you win. You're like, okay, we
100%.
won. We can, relax now. You know what I mean?
And that's the way it should be, like, it's so unhealthy to be stressing over these games 24/7.
Right.
You just gotta look at the long-term aspect, like, put the
Exactly.
bets in and turn your phone off, don't even worry about the score.
Exactly. It
It'll
happens
help
to
you
the
out.
best of us, but we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Everyone goes through that phase. Whenever
Oh, yeah.
you detach the emotion and aren't obsessed with these scores, that's whenever you really start profiting.
Oh, yeah. I feel like after a while, for sticking to the system, and all that, you get numb to it. Whether you lose or you win, you just get used to it. Like, all
Yep.
right, cool. We lost. We'll get it back tomorrow. It
That's
is
how it
whatever
should
it
be,
is.
100%.
Oh, yeah. So definitely.
So I like, obviously, what I try to tell people is sports betting is not like what these people are. There's no such thing as guaranteed bets. There's no locks. There's no any of that BS. It's probably fake. I'm very transparent with my results, but if you could tell the average sports bettor one thing, what would it be other than the discipline aspect? Because again, we've been hammering that. So if you could, help someone out other than discipline, what would it be?
So I would definitely say stick to the plan. Just believe in it. Everything comes with a risk. Whether you starting your own business, you're risking your money, putting it on the line, and not knowing if your business is going to be successful or not. The same thing with sports betting. At the end of the day, you're investing your money, so it's not like you're just throwing your money away for donations. Because if you're doing that, you might as well just stop gambling because that's an addiction right there. But stick to the
100%.
plan. Be patient. Everything works out when you're patient with it. Look at James. He witnessed me. I went from crashing out every day. I'm like, oh my God, we're losing, to me making a lot of profits. And he got to witness it himself. I would show him, my Picket, tracker and how much I made and all that. And I told him like, bro, this is because of you. You made me all that money. So I feel like at the end of the day, the conclusion, bro, be patient. Everything comes out fine when you don't rush it. So be
Yeah.
patient and it'll pay out, bro.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's exactly what I try to teach people too. Yeah, just trust the system. Again, it's worked for hundreds, thousands of people, not hundreds of thousands, thousands of people. So exactly, as long as you stick to the plan, it's also going to work for you.
Exactly. And I feel like, just take the risk, because everything in life is a risk. You get in your car right now and going driving somewhere, you don't know if you're going to get in a car accident, God forbid, or anything. Everything that you're doing is a risk. You might as well take a good risk for improving your life, in the future. You never know where it could take you from 2 years from now, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, like, you see other people online selling their picks, all of that other stuff. Why do you think, like, why do you really stick with me, and why do you think it actually worked out for you?
So look, I'm gonna be honest with you. So before I joined you, and when I was with you as well, I did have other people I was telling, right? And I ended up paying for their Discord services and all that, And I was comparing the both. One where I was consistently losing with them, and we probably won one or two picks out of like the 7 picks they gave out. And then the other one was consistent, not necessarily winning 24/7 nonstop, but it was very consistent to the point where we're making a lot of profits. And with you, that's when I seen the profits. So I was comparing the both, and I'm like, bro, these people charging crazy prices, talking guaranteed. I have a 7 unit tomorrow, and they would make me nuke it. Like, bro, I will put crazy amounts of money for me to lose it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. I'll cancel mine and just stayed with you, to be honest, the whole time. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
it's funny how many people, like, not in, like, a rude way, but it's crazy how people fall for the, the stuff out there.
guaranteed
Um,
picks and guaranteed
yeah,
locks,
and the
you
people
know?
just starting out sports betting, like, they 100% believe it. Bro, I even believe that shit whenever I was first starting, like, everyone I know, like, has gone through that phase of, believing that those are, like, an actual thing or, like, even fixed games, a lot of people will go through the phase of jumping from handicapper to handicapper. But
Right.
whenever you find one that actually works, I'm telling you, just stick with it for life, and I promise the results will be
Exactly.
crazy.
And I feel bad for the people that barely starting like sports betting and all that, and they're just trying to make a money out of it. And then you got those people that's charging them crazy prices, promising that they're gonna make them a lot of money, but they ended up losing, you know.
Yeah,
And then not knowing that there's people like James and like other good handicappers that were actually trying to profit, not just scam them for money, you know.
yeah.
And that's the sad part about it. But hey, man, you just gotta try it out, you know, and find out for yourself, you know, what's good and what's not. Just stick with it. 100%.
So then now that you've been, sports betting for at least like almost 2 years now, and now like last month you had a $50,000 a month, where do you see sports betting a year from now? Like where do you think your account and profits will be then?
So definitely I look at it as an investment, you know. So I always have a goal for myself. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let's put this. I'll be writing in my notes. I'm like, all right, we had an amazing month today. Let's make the next month even better, you know. So for example, if I made 50,000, I'm like, all right, let's try to break off 60,000 the next month, you know, or something similar to that amount. Even if it's not exactly 60,000, let's get close or a little bit more than 50,000, maybe 51, 52, 53. So I always look at it as an investment, and then I make sure I take that money and invest it as well. So I double my money, you know, both ways, you know, and all that.
100%.
So from
Yeah.
2 years from now, yeah, I look at it like somewhere that's going way big with it, you know.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, that's perfect. That's the best way to look at it. So whenever, you made 50,000 last month, like what are, like, are you thinking of buying any cars? Like what are some stuff that, like you've six or like you've achieved
achieved with that
financially?
money. Right. So, so look, we actually discussed this before in the group chat, in the whale group chat. I remember I told you I wanted Camaro too. It says, and you're like, no, like just wait on it and stuff like that. Believe it or not, bro, I ended up paying my whole parents' mortgage off, which was a quarter million, bro.
No
And then
way.
I bought my dad a car, which was a Durango RT, and I bought my mom a Porsche Cayenne, bro. And I bought my brother a Beamer. So, and I was like, with the money left that I have, then I'll finally like, you know, have fun for me and myself. But with the money I have, I thought about it. I'm like, I really could go buy a car right now, but I'm like, I might as well just invest it, make it even more bigger, then go have fun later. You know, you work hard, then have fun later.
Damn, that's crazy, bro.
But yeah, bro. So I
Paid
play I
off
played it smart, bro. I really played it smart. I pitched every penny. I wasn't splurging, you know, because you know, a lot of people they make money, 10,000, 12,000, they hit them all the next day trying to get the designers and everything like that. I played it smart, but I thought about the long term. I'm like, let me think about my parents and everybody around me, then I'll take care of myself next. You know what I mean? So yeah.
That's crazy, man. Nah, good for you. Honestly, like that's
Appreciate it, bro. And I gotta
sick,
give you
bro.
your props too, bro, because without you, none of this would have been happening too, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Damn, bro. No, that's sick. I did not know all that.
I was
Damn,
waiting for the right call, you know what I mean? Because I knew he was gonna get on here, so I was like, I might as well just surprise him, you know? But yeah, bro,
damn. Congrats, bro. That's big.
appreciate it,
That's really big. That's not something
appreciate it.
easy at all. So yeah,
Yes, sir, bro.
congrats, bro. That's sick. And bro,
Thank you.
you're 22, so it's
20
not like you're fucking 50 doing that shit. Like
Right,
you're
right, right.
young,
All at
bro.
an early age, you know. It's good to do it at a young, early age, you know, so you can play later on. You're in your 30s, you just having fun, you know, sitting down, relax, and everything right now. But this is the time where we lock in, take life serious, you know what I mean? Because look, bro, one advice for y'all: after 18, nobody's gonna hold your hands no more. You got bills, you know, you got life to take care of. Some of y'all have kids, some of y'all get married, you know, at a young age and all that. So it's really best to, you know, take life serious, save your money up and invest it, you know. Don't be 18 buying, you know, 7 cars and thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get rich off gambling, winning it, and you know, and that, you know, invest it, you know, and have, you know, gambling or sports betting as a plan B as well, you know, and all that. But yeah,
That's sick. Yeah, congrats, bro. Damn.
appreciate it.
So, over the last like 2 years, pretty much,
Right.
has there ever been a time where you doubted the system or like even like yeah, has there been a time where you wanted to stop and leave the group or whatever.
Oh yeah, many times. And you want to see something funny, bro? So look, so you know how you sent me the call for the Discord? So I clicked on the Discord chat with me and you, and apparently I typed you a paragraph that I did not send, but apparently I think it was like a long time ago. And I said, "Hey, bro, I lost my plays a few times back to back. For the last 4 days, I'm down hella money. Tomorrow will be my last time trying, and if your slip is not green, I think I'm gonna have to cancel my subscription." Literally right here, bro. So,
Damn,
and I
bro.
looked at it, I got surprised. I'm like, when did I type that out? And then I'm glad I didn't send it because I guess it paid off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy, bro.
Bro, I promise you, everything got its crazy timing. Like literally, I looked at it, I was so surprised. I'm like, did I even really have the nerve to send that?
That's sick, bro.
But
And
yeah,
and yeah, and look how it worked out.
amazing, bro. So I told you, as I said, mentioned before, it's literally a matter of time. It's just patience and patience. It'll pay off.
100%, bro.
100%, bro.
That's
But
sick,
yeah.
man. Damn, that would have been crazy.
Hey man, cause look, what happened if I was to cancel? I would never seen James again. I would never been making that type of money.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're here through the ups and the struggles and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where do you think you would be? Or do you even have an idea of like when you were gonna send that text?
I'm assuming, bro, it was probably like 2024 in September, because I remember in September was like on and off month. I remember, but I'm not pretty sure like when I texted that. Maybe it could be 2022, 2023. But hey,
Yeah,
man, we'll never know. But
that's
yeah.
crazy.
And to be honest, if I was not like with you anymore, I probably just been on with a normal life. I guess just
That's what I
working a
was about to
normal
ask you.
job
Yeah,
and
where would life have been?
but yeah, probably working a normal job, become a normal student, go to college, try to get a degree, I guess. Somebody average, I guess, but paid
Damn,
off.
that's crazy. So for anyone on the fence that may be watching this about joining the premium, what would you tell them?
So if anybody will say that one time.
So anyone's on the fence about joining, like they're thinking about joining, but they don't know, if it's worth it or not. What would you tell them?
I would say so. Look, I heard this on a quote before. They're like, "Don't think about it, just do it." You know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, when you think about it, I'm like, "Should I do it? Should I do it?" You might as well just not do it. But if you plan on making money, and you want to invest and make yourself better, just do it. Take the risk. What's the worst could happen? You losing a little bit of money, cool. You make it back at your normal job, etc. You'll make it back. Money comes and goes. But you investing long term in your future will take you a long, long way. So take the risk. Why not? What's the worst could happen? I'm assuming a lot of people had sad and bad stories before, and you just think about your sad stuff. Like, look, I had it worse. What's the worst could really happen in this situation, and all that.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a great way to put it. I always think of like everyone always thinks, what happens if it doesn't work out? Like, am I gonna get my money
exactly,
back? But like, what happens if it does work out? You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Not
six
a lot
months
of
from
people
now.
think about it, like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you
Just
just doubt yourself, like, man, I
exactly.
don't. But yeah,
Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. I mean, that pretty much wraps up everything. That was a great call. Like, I'm gonna, or